Hey, this is Retired Geek Woman with Skyrim SE Retired Slow Play Part 34. And we've done something a little different here. As many of you know, I've mentioned it before, I do not like to fast travel. That's against my rules for my gameplay. So I needed to take care of a few things while Serena was away becoming humid. So I fast traveled to pick up Lydia as to follow me. I took her to my house. She offered to be a steward. I said yes. Then I went back to the Fort Dawnguard to pick up Serena. And I know that some had mentioned to me here that when you dismiss Serena, which I actually didn't, she said she would see me at the house. It says when you dismiss them, then it's hard to get them back, or you can't get them back. Then I read that the unofficial patch fixed that problem. So I assumed it was all fixed. Well, when I dropped off Lydia and I go back to Fort Dawnguard, Serena won't give me the option to follow me. I was able to ask her, so you're human? And she said yes. And that she felt better than she had felt since she was turned. So that was a good positive thing. So then I had read that there was a console command to again have the opportunity to ask her to follow you. So I had to use that command to do that. And then I fast traveled back here to make sure she was following me, and we are headed off to do a couple quests up near the College of Winterhold. And so that's where we are. I also had gone up a level, so I'm level 17. The only other thing you missed is I sold some stuff at a couple of merchants in Riverwood and here as well. So that's the only things that you've missed so far. But because the game mechanics don't allow me to do it in the way I would want to do it, which is have two followers, or just tell someone right then and there, I want you to be my steward, and tell them to go to the house. So because I couldn't do that, it forced me to do fast traveling and things. So that is, now I've caught you up on where I am. And so right now we just killed a dragon, and also I killed a dragon in Riverwood while I was there too. So that's two dragons that you have not seen. So that's where I am. And I'm sorry that I had to do that, but it's just, to me, again, it's the game mechanics that really forced me to do it that way, and to do console commands, which I don't like doing. I only like to do the 3 mods that I have, and they're listed in the description, which is the unofficial patch, the convenient horses, and the I forget, that's the world. I always forget the name of it. Let me look at it and tell you here, and I'm sorry that I didn't look at it ahead of time. It's called Quality World Map, and all 3 of those were found on nexusmods.com, and the links to them are listed in my description. So there you go. We're all caught up with where we are, and everything is as it should be. I got Lydia back at the house taking care of the family, and I got Serena with me, and she is human. And I'm going to share that with you at some point, because I want you to see absolutely how beautiful she truly is. She really does. I like the way she looks, and her eyes are kind of a greenish color. I had read somewhere that they were yellow or something, and they're not yellow on my screen. So I did a nice screenshot of her, and I will show you that at some point, how beautiful she looks. So what are we out for here? What are we after again? Oh, a vampire assassin. I thought, why did I jump off my horse? Vampire assassin. Look at that, man. Serena zapped it, her horse blew up, and that zapped it, and I had to zap it with a staff. So I think they're getting a little harder on us here, and I didn't change the difficulty settings, but maybe it's because I'm level 17 and the creatures get harder, I think. And that's, so if it gets too hard, we got a problem, because you can't go any easier than very easy, which is what I'm set on, just because I don't like fighting. I don't like to do any of that. So there was some kind of a note on this vampire. I'm trying to figure out what it was. I saw something that I picked up, and sometimes I don't pay attention enough when I'm looting a body at some of the things that are there, and I couldn't remember what it was called. So I was kind of looking back, and I was like, was it called a vampire? It wasn't the vampire note, I don't think. No, that one is an old one. I really should probably go through these notes and things and put them at a desk or something in my house just to get them out of my pack because it's way cluttered. So, okay, I don't know what that was about. I don't know what that one was about. And that was called Writ of Sending. So apparently I hadn't read that one either. So I don't know. I hate that when it happens. So we'll figure it out. I'd probably put a quest somewhere and we'll figure it out. We look at all the notes again later. And here I'm just kind of like very frustrated with myself trying to figure out what the heck was that. And I look at it again just because I forgot I looked at that one. And for my new viewers, I have a little bit of short-term memory loss, very normal for seniors sometimes. And it's not a huge deal, but sometimes I repeat myself and I redo things that I had already done because I didn't remember that. My brain didn't immediately remember that I did it. So no big deal, but it's a little annoying for you guys. So sorry about that. I'll try to take my vitamins and things before I start playing or recording these recordings. So anyway, we are ended up traveling at night. I didn't check the time when we had gotten to what White Run or whatever it was, and I just thought, well, we'll go ahead and go. It's okay. It's no big deal. I didn't want to sleep there. I wanted to get back on the road and back onto our adventuring. Oh, the other thing that I did that you missed is I did a little bit more work on the house. It's coming along very nicely. So we do need to do some more adventuring. I will be eventually making that list of things that we totally need to finish out the house. It's got a ways to go, but I need to start making lists now. There's a number of amulets that I need to find, and I need a few things like I think like goat hide, for instance. So things like that I had previously not paid attention to that I do need to be able to finish my house. If this is the first episode you're watching, I'm building the Lakeview Manor house, which is part of the Hearthfire DLC. And I love building my house. Oh, brick by brick, stone by stone, nail by nail. I absolutely love it. Now, eventually, when I become super rich and nothing else to spend the money on, I will be buying other houses. And that's fine, but I don't think I'm going to deck them out. They're certainly not going to be my showplace where I display the weapons and armor that I don't want to sell that were special pieces, where my children live, where my spouse lives, which is Ballamond, the blacksmith. So all of them are going to be centrally located at the Lakeview Manor home, which is my favorite house in the game. And I'm not including in that the anniversary edition, which I don't have. I know that came with a number of beautiful homes. I've seen the YouTubes of it, and they are beautiful, no doubt about it. But I don't want to upgrade again. I'm perfectly content to stay with the special edition until we get Elder Scrolls 6. And who knows, that could be many, many years, a half a decade or more. We don't have any idea. So, whoa, kind of blew them up. I love Serena's exploding horse. And I was really happy to see that after she became human, I get to keep the horse. So that was great. I didn't know if that would happen or not. Someone had commented that they wanted to wait until Serena was healed to become human, so that because they didn't like the skeletal horse. Well, I hate to have a spoiler alert here, and I probably should put one. She keeps that horse, and I love it. Well, it's not pretty. It's very nasty and ugly looking. I love it that it explodes. It helps us in our fights, which I don't like fighting anyway. So anyway, as you saw, she is human, and she still has her skeletal horse. I don't know if we could switch it out. I have no idea. Never looked into that. So look at that, 500 robes of 500 robes of destruction. And last time I checked real quick, when I sold something as a little over 50% of the value of what it says it's worth is what I'm getting. So someone had mentioned that that's the only reason they don't worry about that, because they end up with so much gold by the time that they've done that perk tree, that isn't the reason that they do the perk tree. So I do understand. So I won't do any more haggling. I think I did 2. I don't think I did 3 points in haggling. I think I did 2. So I will stop spending my points on that and find other places to spend my points. So again, because I play on very easy mode, it's not as much of a challenge, and I know that the points aren't, the perks aren't as important. It's important, but not as important, because I don't need to buff up my character as much because I'm playing on an easier level. Now tell me if my thinking is incorrect. So if I should be, then definitely tell me. I'm definitely going to go up the destruction perk tree for fire and frost. It's fire and frost, because those are the 2 destruction spells that I use the most, and so I will follow the tree up that way. I guess it's flame. I don't know. Whatever it is. I'm not looking at it right now, so I don't remember. But those are the 2 things that I use, and I will continue working on lockpicking and get that up, because I don't know that I want to go seek out, if there is a skeleton key, as there was in Oblivion, I don't know if I want to seek out that Daedric Prince and follow through and get that skeleton key that opens everything. So if there is one, I don't honestly know. I know I went through the Prima Guide at one time and looked at all the Daedric Princes and all of the different things that you could do and get, and most of them I don't want them, like that big hammer or something. I may end up doing the quest just for completion purposes, but I don't know. We'll see. In the meantime, I just prefer to use lockpicking, and look at this caper. He's after me. Teamwork right there. You bet it, girl. I'm so glad you're back with me, and we're back on the road again. And she has her default armor on. As you can see, she's outside and put her hood up. And when she goes inside, she's putting her hood down. So I don't know what would happen if I changed out her default armor. I would imagine, since it's actually not showing as an inventory item, if I change out her default armor, I assume it will vanish. So there would be no way to get it back. And I really kind of like that she puts her hood up, although since she's human, it's not really necessary. So we'll see. It has been my plan at some point to possibly get into enchanting and enchant some regular vampire armor for her. And I think I do have another piece of the royal vampire armor, which is what I'm wearing. And at some point, if I think of it, I will try to switch her out with that. I'd like some input from you guys to let me know what happens if I give her, if her default armor vanishes. I assume there's no way to get it back. As you saw right there, I did not want to bother getting off my horse to kill a wolf. I knew if I stood still, Serena would take care of it. She's got a sword. I don't like fighting for my horse, and I don't like jumping off to kill wolves. They don't usually have anything on them that I want. It's usually just wolf hide and some coins, and occasionally a thing or two that's of moderate value. So I don't know. That's why I stay on my horse and let her deal with it if she can, or sometimes I just sprint past it and they just go away. So, not sure. We are going to stop off here for a couple of reasons. I want to get some rest. I want to sell anything that we've got to sell. And I want to work on a quest here that we're going to pick up regarding the murders of some girls that are here. And so this is an interesting quest to me, and so I decided to go ahead and get started on it. Well, before we go on up to the far northeast, it's always so cold and I don't like it. So I'm not procrastinating, but there are some things in Windhelm that we wanted to do. As you can see, I'm halfway through level 17. And I think I'm pretty close to being as high level as I've ever been. I've never, usually by this point, I'm starting to get bored, or something shiny, new and shiny comes out, and I want that new shiny thing, and I move off to that, or I would, play one of my many other games that I love a lot. So I don't know. Hopefully, the fact that I'm doing this series, the fact that I'm getting good response, I'm getting comments to keep going and things, those are helping me immensely. And that support from you, there she is with her lovely green eyes, And that support from you is encouraging me to continue on. So please keep making comments. Please keep subscribing to my channel. Please give my videos likes if you like what I'm doing. And if you would like, I do have a Patreon account, and I would appreciate support because that will help me continue on with what I'm doing. So all of that helps me continue on, and I really want to continue on, so I'm really working on my motivation. So you are part of that. Every single subscriber that I have, I'm so appreciative that you're here, and that's why I'm continuing to do this, is for you and me as well. So we got a good night's sleep, and as you may, if you're the first time you've watched watched one of my videos of my gameplay, oh look at those beautiful eyes. At my gameplay, I tend to sleep at night if I can, and travel during the day. Now that's not always possible, and sometimes it's okay to go again to change that, but for the most part, if I'm close to a town and it is at night, I'm going to sleep. Would you get out of the way? If it is close to at nighttime, I will sleep till morning. And I generally sleep until the merchants are open so they can go sell stuff and whatever, and that's what I'm going to be doing here, selling stuff, and we're going to go see if we can't find that quest that I was talking about. And here I'm just double checking to see what I currently have. Shallow Doors Insights, we have a book we need to go give to our grumpy old library holder guy, and we also have ancient Urag, your ancient Falmer tomb is the other thing. So we have 2 reasons to visit him now, and so I thought, okay, it's time to head on up there and go talk to him. That's why I'm going to do that in a little bit. But first, I'm going to come in here and try to pick up this quest, and I don't know for sure where it gets started. So I was kind of running around and say, who should I talk to? Who would know about this? And I thought it was her. She talks about losing her sister, but she doesn't. She didn't offer me anything. I don't know. Maybe later, maybe if you get a higher level, she'll mention it. I don't know. She didn't offer, so we're going to find somebody that will talk to us. And I was trying to look around to see. Nothing. Okay. I don't know why we're talking about farming, but okay. I know that our current house will have a garden, and I haven't created it yet, but we'll have a garden there, and you can grow. And also, I have an inside garden where I can grow various ingredients, and so that's what we're going to be doing with that. I haven't started it yet, but that room is getting close to completion. And it's taking a quick look here. What do I have? Looks like I'm pretty down. I've got things pretty well down. Oh yeah, I have a novice hood, and I remember that this lady over here buys magic armor. So let's see what we got. See what she'll give us for it. And let's see, she's got 751 apparel, 132, and I'm pretty sure that it's worth double that. So, and also I wanted to buy any glass. I'm still picking up iron ingots and a few pieces of straw on occasion. Mostly I'm skipping those because I think I have all I need. And just kind of, again, I bought some things to increase her amount, and that way we can sell her the extra items. But we're running up close to 34,000 gold right now, and that's way more than we need for anything we're doing. We haven't started enchanting, which is really the only other thing that we will be spending our money on, and then later we'll decide to spend some money on some houses. And who knows, if I play this through to the end, I may get so rich that I'll be a huge property owner. Dude, why are you standing in my face? He does that every time. And I'm just not trying, there we are. Folks talking about the murders. And he says there's a killer in Windhelm. We know that. And let's see, he's claiming three victims. And really, we don't get much more information than that. So Oh, and I thought about, he mentioned prominent citizens, so I was trying to get anyone to have that conversation about the murders and try to further it as long as I could. So obviously I wasn't getting anywhere quickly. And so I don't know why that it's important to know who these prominent people are. I don't, maybe there's quests behind them, I'm not really sure. But anyway, it's like, okay, not getting anywhere with that. We still need to figure out who we can talk to about the murders.
You one of those Skyrim for the Nords types? Farewell.
Okay. Let's see. He's just not. I'll figure it out. I know the quest is around here somewhere. I know someone's going to give us information. Just got to find out who that person is. Excuse me.
One of the best soldiers in the Stone Club.
I'll give you some gold. And we receive a gift of charity when we do that, and I don't remember exactly what that is. I'm sure it's kind of some kind of buff, but I do it anyway. I want to be a good person. I want to help out the downtrodden. So again, I'm just trying to talk. No, I know there's dragons. Everything's cool. Don't worry, got this under control. We'll keep killing them outside the gates, so don't worry. And then I remembered that we needed to come down here where the murder took place, and there is a murdered girl. And the guards, we asked the guard what happened. Her name was Susanna. She was from Cathedral Candlehearth Hall, so she was a server at the local tavern. And he's saying, yeah, it's happened again. She's the third. He sure is forthcoming. I guess he trusts us. Look at this. We're stretched too thin with the war. Nobody has time to spend on this. Not pleasant, but it's the truth. So these guards standing around are too busy to find out who killed this poor girl. And so he tells us to talk to some of the people. It's called Blood on the Ice is the quest, and he says to talk to some of the people standing around here. And we get a few pieces of information. She screamed. Silda the Unseen, who's a thief, I guess, a pickpocket, said that's what she saw. And we asked this guy. He saw somebody running away, and that's all he has to offer. And this is Hilgrid. And so she doesn't have much to offer either. So she's going to prepare the body, and so we were supposed to report to the guard what we saw after speaking to the witnesses. And he's like, well, yeah, nobody saw anything. Yeah, so he says, sure, we're happy to help. We're happy to have your help. Okay, so we're supposed to talk to Jorleif. So we're going to go do that. Talk to Jorleif. So I've unchecked the quest that I was going to do so I can get this on my cursor so I can know where I'm going right now, but I want to make sure that I wasn't confused by the other things that were on my compass and my quest log. So I want to make this the focus. We'll change that after we get past a certain point here, but so we're going to go talk to Jorleif and see what he has to say about this horrendous situation with this murderer running around, killing young girls. And we tell him, yeah, we've heard about this.
These are difficult times indeed, when men stalk their brethren like beasts. My men are stretched thin as it is.
So they're stretched very thin with the war, apparently. And he says, you can help. And he says the guards will help you if necessary. And so now we need to examine the crime scene. Okay? So we'll be coming back to Jorleif often. Again, I wanted to see her eyes. They're a lovely green. I guess they kind of have a yellowish tint to them, but I think they're a lovely green. I'll stop talking about that soon. Again, somebody mentioned that Serena's eyes were yellow, and I think they're green. They're kind of a blue-green, a turquoise green, which is just pretty. Very, very pretty. Oh, and I took a screenshot right there from Steam. So anyway, sidetracked. Squirrel. Okay, so we got to go back and examine the crime scene is what our next task on this is. So we're going to go back here and examine the crime scene. And it was a little bit confusing because the arrow is pointing right on top of this, all this blood right here. And I got a little bit confused here for a minute, so excuse me while I stumble around trying to examine the crime scene. Because actually what you do is not examine the crime scene, but that's okay. We will figure it out. Quit mumbling, guard, since you're standing around doing absolutely nothing. So we do two things: examine the crime scene and get assistance from Jorleif. And he told us to examine the crime scene. So we're trying to examine the crime scene. And so you have to excuse me here while I get my, like, what the heck? And so we're standing right where we're supposed to be. Ah, there we go. See, it should have told us to talk to the guard. It didn't. It said examine the crime scene. So we did talk to the guard. And so Hildred has taken the body into the Hall of the Dead to prepare for burial. She's a little bit crazy, but if she knows anything, it's dead bodies. So now we're supposed to go talk with Helgerd, I'm sorry, who took the body here. I guess that's her job. To the Hall of the Dead. That's not creepy or ominous in any way, right? It's like, what? So anyway, let's wander around down here and see if we can find her. I imagine she'll be with dead bodies somewhere. And our compass is pointing us this way. It's like, ooh, these look like the ruins that we have to go in a lot of time where there's draugrs and such. There she is. And we ask her if she knows anything strange. She's dead. Oh my gosh, how snarky and rude. Joking. There's a dead body and she's making jokes. She said she did. The unusual thing is the shape of the cuts. They look like they were made with ancient Nords used a curved blade, and I don't know who in Windhelm would even have something like that other than me. So she's incriminating herself. Ask her. So she says, no, I had nothing to do with it. Well, maybe and maybe not. Sometimes people tell you things to throw you off. If you watch enough Dateline, you would know that. So anyway, back to the story. We have talked to Hildred and learned basically nothing. So we still have examined the crime scene and talked to Jorleif, and this is the Susanna the Wicked. I didn't realize that she was wicked. Apparently she is. So we've got done everything we can down here for now. Hildred wasn't overly helpful, except that she said the cuts were strange. Looked like they were made with some kind of embalming tool, which is a little bit weird, ominous weird. But we'll see. Let's see if we can find our way out of here. Getting turned around. Looks like a catacomb of some kind. That's why I was getting turned around. Large diagonal cut from the left shoulder. So she's kind of mumbling to herself while we wander around trying to figure out what the heck is going on. So we're getting just marginal direction here. Again, we're supposed to examine the crime scene again. I don't know what we're supposed to do. It looks like we need to go out of here. We've already talked to Helgrid. That was the only tip that we had. So we'll head on back out. And you'll notice there's blood everywhere. So we need to remember that. So again, we come back here. Talk to him again. Nothing. Again, we're looking at the crime scene, and it's got a pointer over it, but I don't see anything that we can pick up or click on, or I don't see anything else. So one thing that we can do is follow the blood trail. So I decided to do that, and you can just see where it's at. It's on the stairs. You could see exactly this body, whatever. This body had been obviously moved from somewhere. And you follow the blood, and you see it on the steps of this house. And it looks like there's a house right here. And we need access. It's called Hajurim. I don't know if I'm saying that right. That's the house, apparently, that that poor girl had been drugged from. You can tell that there's blood everywhere. So that tells me that I need to get inside that house. And to get inside the house, we need to go back to Jorleif. And I'm sorry that I mispronounced the names of these people all the time. That's just, I don't listen closely enough when they're telling me when I'm playing, and then when I'm recording the voiceovers on my videos, I don't remember the names. So I do apologize for getting that wrong. You don't have to flame me. I know that I do, so I don't care. So here we are talking to Jorleif, and we ask about that house. Okay. Her mother Tova has the key. Alrighty. And so now, I guess we need to go find Tova. Just trying to see. Okay, that's the next tip that we got is. And there's nothing else I can ask him, even though he's still got a. I guess the cursor or the pointer stays right on top of him no matter what, because you keep coming back to him as you find things out. You keep coming back to him. So, I guess that's why there is a pointer over his head. Excuse me, nothing, no trouble. I'm trying to get out the door and you're blocking my way. Alright, so we need to go find this person, that wasn't her, somewhere, we don't know where she's at, to find the, to get the key to that house so we can go inside that house. Because that's obviously our next clue. And she's not down here, so I'm thinking, well, where is she? Looks like I have a cursor or a marker on my compass that's pointing on the other side here. So I thought it was right here. There'd be somebody here, but there's not. So she must be around the other direction. So we'll kind of follow it around. See if we can't find this person. If we keep getting dead ends. Alright, oh, and there she is right there. And that's Tova. Shatter Shield. Yes, and she had lost her daughter, and that's so sad. So, I'm sorry about that. There's a number of ways you could tell her that you are helping without being rude. So, just I try to choose the polite route if I can, and we ask her for the help, for help, and she agrees to give us the key. So we got the key. And now we can go back and check out this house and look for more clues to the murders of these girls. And it's really easy to find the house. You just continue to follow that blood trail. So I don't know if that goes away later or somebody cleans that up, but it's nasty, isn't it? So, with our newly acquired key, we are able to go inside this house and take a look around, and our quest says to look for clues. So basically I just kind of wander around. There's blood everywhere. Investigate the chest, and it looks like this box was pushed against the wall recently, and there is these things called Beware the Butchers. They're flyers of some kind, and I have no choice but to take them. There's also a butcher journal, whatever that is. So we can take a quick look at those. They should be in our books. Okay, so if we go to the top, we've got the Beware the Butcher flyers, and it's basically these flyers. Viola, tell Viola if you spot any suspicious behavior. And then there's a journal, and it looks like it is the journal from the killer. So we've got a journal from the killer. That's one piece of it. So I don't know what else we can do. Let's take a quick look upstairs. I'm looking around the corners, making sure I'm not missing anything. There's no blood on the stairs that I can see. It just looks like it's been an abandoned house. There's nothing here. Upstairs, there's pieces of broken furniture is about it. And excuse me, Serana dear. And so again, kind of doing the once over upstairs. I didn't see anything. No clues up here at all. And so let's continue on downstairs and go into this back room area right here. And when we come up to a chest, it says investigate the wardrobe. The wardrobe is, nothing here really. A little bit of gold, might as well take that while we're here. And back over here, we've got investigate small shelf. There's more of these butcher flyers. We can read these. I don't know if they're... Oh, there's an amulet. There's a strange amulet that was there underneath the flyers. So interesting. Investigate the wardrobe. It's been nailed to the wall. And there's a false back panel. And what do we have here? Oh my gosh. This is horrible. This looks like some kind of ritualistic thing. And it's unknown magic. Someone's using body parts. That's gross. And even listed the body parts that they're doing something. So that's pretty awful. You can see that's pretty nasty. So obviously this is where the killer has been doing their killing. And the last case of the young girl had brought her back out. So, oh my goodness. So again, looking at what we need to do next, I want to make sure that I got everything from here. Make sure I didn't miss anything. And where's that amulet? Strange amulet. It just says strange amulet. That's all I know. And it's worth 1,000, but it's a strange amulet. There's nothing else to be known. And I thought I'd looked in here, but I wanted to make sure. So, we've pretty well gotten all the clues out of the house that we could. And probably need to go back and talk to Jorleif again. Tell him what we found. We found an amulet, and we found these journal. And something about these flyers. It's like, what the heck? Something about these stacks and stacks of flyers. Somebody was taking them down too, so it's very, very strange, very curious for a amateur sleuth trying to figure this out. And we tell him, ask him about the butcher. She posts them all over the city and someone keeps taking them down. Okay, we kind of figured that out. But we found him in the house. Show him the amulet. He says to take it to Calixto at the House of Curiosities. So, okay. Might even pay you for it. All right.
Travel safe.
So,
It's dangerous out here.
what about the person that's been taking down these flyers? Maybe we can find that person. So our cursors, I mean, we've got markers all over the place. It's like, oh my gosh, who do we go talk to? Probably would like to go talk to the person who's taken down, well, the person about the flyers. That'd probably be a good person to talk to. And also the guy about the amulet. And I think it's a shop back over here. I think our cursor's taking us there anyway. And this wasn't it. It's like, okay, where am I going? There we go. Just trying to figure out where the heck it was. Who am I supposed to talk to?
So, you could cast a few spells.
Shut up, guard. You don't know what you're talking about. Doing your job for you. You should be thankful. Not smarting off. And look at this place. I don't think I've been in this place before. And I'm glad I found it. Because we may be able to sell things there. So there's a couple, I mean, I guess if someone is like really a good adventurer, they probably would have, why is it? It was locked, and I thought that I should unlock it to get inside. That's what I was thinking. It's only like 3 something in the afternoon, so the shop shouldn't be closed. So my brain said, unlock it. Go in. Go talk to him, right? And he has a conniption fit and tells me to get out. And he's warning me, get out, get out, get out. So I don't know why that was the case. I don't know why we had to leave. So I was confused. It's like, we're supposed to go talk to that person. Also, it took a minute to take a quick look at some of my stats, because I keep forgetting to do that. And so I just took a moment. I don't like having bounties on my head. Looks like I bribed somebody once. So there's a lot of information here, and I just don't make it a habit to check it very often. But I don't know, maybe, I don't know how many total quests there are. I don't know if this would have told me. I didn't look at it close enough to know. Favorite weapon, Ariel's bow. What? Maybe that's because I used it the most. Is that the reason why? That's kind of a crazy stat. Because I guess I would have thought using the sword, but I guess I changed to magic pretty quick. So, interesting stats. I need to look at them more. Anyways, what I was looking for was bounties and find out, did I just break the law by trying to break in and speak to someone I was supposedly told to speak to. Okay, who do I speak to next? So I kind of wandered around back over here. Again, just trying to figure out where and who I need to talk to further this quest some more. I don't know why I went in here, because she's not going to talk to me again. Again, kind of fumbling around in the dark and not really sure. I mean, the quest is a little bit confusing me on what it tells me to do. There's nothing over. She's not going to tell me anything. So she just kind of rambles. Same thing. Oh, also, Shrine of Archay. I knew that I had contracted some kind of a disease from a rat. So I went ahead and chose that just to make sure that I wasn't diseased. And eventually, when I get back to my house, I have the Shrine of Mara. So that just it gives me more magic or whatever. So we'll look at it. And so anyway, that got rid of whatever diseases that I currently have, which I think I had a couple from being bit by rats or some such thing. So she just kind of keeps mumbling to herself and doesn't give us any more information. But I had remembered that that shrine was there and decided to go ahead and get healed since she wasn't going to offer us anything anyway. And so anyway, that's why I ran down there. It was kind of a side thing to do. So we do need to figure out what to do next. Who do we talk to next? Apparently we're not welcome at that curio shop. I know there's a lady that was putting out the flyers. Maybe she has some information for us. It's probably getting kind of late in the day. So, really nobody to talk to. I'm trying to figure that out.
If you're looking to get a drink, Candlehead Hall's got warm fire and strong ale.
Poor Serena with her hat on.
Working in Windhelm is great. I get to see close.
Somebody's got a crush on Ulfric. She says that all the time. I came here to be close to Ulfric. So anyway, looking up again. It's like, okay, can't go there. Looks like there's a cursor up here around that narrow pathway down the side. So I thought, maybe, I don't know why I came in here. Maybe because of the time of day. No idea. I have no idea why I went in there. Oh, I'm losing it. I'm losing it. Alright, so let's try and find that, where my compass marker is pointing me towards, and see if there's someone we can speak to. It's like, okay, it looks like there might be. Aha! There we are. Viola. She's the one that was putting those flyers up. And she's pointing out she's been trying to find him. The guards won't help. The people won't help. So I feel bad for her. So she's doing everything she can. Guards are too busy. Well, you got a good point there, Viola. And we found the journal. We tell her about it. And it mentions a court mage. It looks like a court mage. So she says Windhelm, and she believes he's the one. And she tells us, go to the steward. It's okay. We can go to Jorleif and tell him what we found. Found a weird amulet. We found a weird book, and she says it's the court mage. That's what she says. But let's see what Jorleif has to say. So unfortunately, I don't like it that that was our option. But we tell him why we think that.
Ulfric has been a trusted friend to Ulfric for many years.
Well,
It pains me to see that the whispers had truth to them. Ulfric shall be apprehended.
so he tells us
I thank you for your diligence.
Windhelm shall be apprehended,
The streets of Windhelm are now safe.
and it's supposedly a done deal. He says we've completed the blood on ice. Now, there's a lot of things we could do. We could leave. And I was looking here for any insights to what we just did. Also, I had thought that once we completed this quest, and it looked like it's completed, that he told him to go apprehend him, Windhelm, whatever his name is. So I'm going to follow along and watch this happen, I guess. I had thought that as soon as we finished the blood on ice, we would be able to purchase a house. I think a guard even mentions it. And then I remembered, well, we think we're done with this quest. Really, we aren't. So I just want to watch him. He's doing the same thing other characters do when you come too close to them. They stop what they're doing. So we're gonna get in here and get in a corner and be a fly on the wall to watch them apprehend him. And again, I was in the way. Serana was in the way. There's another guard in the way, and they're all in each other's way. So I'm kind of getting out of the way to let all that happen. And so he's getting ready to be arrested. And all the rest. That's Jorleif talking to him. We're wise to your scheming. And he's like, one Firth is not going to admit to this if he did do it. And he says he's been looking for the murderer himself. And Jorleif is not buying it. And he says, take him. So he even says this isn't over. So, you know, we think it's over. It's not in our quest book anymore. And so I'm just kind of watching to see where they take him. As a side note, it's really interesting. A lot of these quests where someone goes off to do something, or in this case they're arresting someone, you can do a number of things. You can follow them along just to kind of see what happens. And other times, and usually you can just take off and go do other things. And if something further is going to happen, it will, and you'll be told about it. But I find it really just fascinating with, you know, the way this game works, the way the AI works. Just sometimes I want to follow along and see what's going to happen, because sometimes major things happen that you wouldn't have seen if you hadn't followed. It's a little bit slow, as you can see. It's a pain in the neck. Each person's got to go through the door and click on it. I don't know. It's just, to me, I just found it kind of interesting. And there's comments that are made, too, along the way that don't really matter in the story or anything. But to me, it's interesting. It's all background. It's immersion. And so just kind of interesting. And I decided to follow along with them. Because there is something about this quest that, you know, like I said, it's gone from the quest log, and we assume that it's done, it's over, the end. You found the murderer went to jail. But I have done this before, and I happen to know that's not quite the case. So I wanted to follow along and see if we could pick up anything. I couldn't remember when the next part happened, so I hope I'm not doing any spoilers on that for you, but I assume that if you're watching this, for the most part you've done the quest before, and you know that. Maybe there's new people that haven't seen this quest, or maybe there's new people that haven't played Skyrim. I do believe I have one person following along who has never played Skyrim, and they decided to watch me instead of play it. So that's okay. You can watch me, and who knows? I probably missed, 50% of the game because of the way I play, but at least it's the way I play. It's what I enjoy. Interesting. You should unload some of that unwanted gear, head over to Sadri's. So I think it's really interesting that he mentions that. I assume I have unwanted gear. Maybe he would have said that irregardless of whether or not I had any. But he sent me to a place that I later found myself. I didn't know where it was, so I just found that interesting. So if you pay attention, you get all kinds of information. Oh, this looks like a really happy place to be. And so I'm kind of waiting to see what's going on here. It's like he kind of wandered down himself. There's no guard with him. It's like, okay, what the heck is going on? So me and Serena are going to hang out here for a minute, find out what's going on. It's funny, she complains about being in the cave. She also complains about being outside. Serena, come on. Finally, the guard that had wandered off showed up, and he puts him in jail. There's our pretty green-eyed girl. That's right. Disrespect the law and disrespect me. Okay, no problem. I'm not disrespecting the law. Quite the opposite. So what I had hoped is that we could speak to him. And I had hoped that there would be he'd have more information for us, but not at this time. So for now, we are done with him and that particular quest called Blood on Ice. And I was pretty sure that you end up, that house becomes available. And I thought a guard even mentioned it. Had mentioned it or will mention it, I don't know. And so that, if we can find out who and where and how, we can maybe get us a house here, which I'd like to have, just for centrally located. There it is. That house is up for sale. You should talk to the steward. So that was, I knew that I had heard that, but I couldn't remember where or from whom. So, and I don't, and so it's not available yet. It's not part of the things that we can talk to them about. So, you know, it's just, I was hoping that if I kept clicking on it, it would change. Sometimes that happens, but sometimes not. So I think that particular quest and quest line, after it continues, then we'll have the option to purchase that house, even though that the guard just told us that we could. Then I thought, am I talking to the steward? It's not him, obviously, and it's not him, obviously. And so anyway, I was hoping that it would happen, but I think that we're just going to have to wait. So eventually, and soon, hopefully, we will be able to purchase that house. And it's really cheap, comparatively. And I have no idea why I'm going back here. I think I was just wondering, am I talking to the wrong person? And I'm pretty sure he's I forget who's who. I forget who's a steward, who's a what, who's a house Carl, who's a anything. And so I kept thinking that I was maybe speaking to the wrong person. But I do eventually figure that out. So back to the barracks again. It's like that guard come up and turn right back around. Yeah, everything's all right, except someone told me I could buy a house. Oh, I know. I was thinking about sleeping here, but there's no beds. They're all sleeping. And so you can, if you wake somebody up, sleep in a bed if it's not owned, if you're allowed to sleep there. And apparently, I'm not allowed to sleep here. It says owned. You can't sleep in an owned bed. So I woke him up for no reason. Maybe he'll go back to sleep. Sorry to wake you, guard. So I was just hoping to get some rest before we headed on our way. And I thought, well, once again, maybe I could talk. No, nothing. So anyway, sorry about that long frustration thing. Was for me too. So anyways, I think what we're going to do is go ahead and head on to the next thing that we were planning on doing, and we'll just wait for this. It'll come back around again. Why does he have to be rude about the sweet roll thing? It's like, you don't need to be rude. And per my normal, I don't like to travel during the night. I'd prefer to sleep during the night. And I forgot that door brought me into the top, which is where I didn't need to be. So I asked her to rent a room.
Mind you don't get fresh with Susanna.
Since I had rented one the previous night and it hadn't been 24 hours, the room is available to me still. So I get a second night out of the deal. Because as far as I know, they don't wake you up at the 24-hour mark and tell you to get out. So it's like, cool, 2 for 1. It only cost me 5 gold per night to sleep until morning. So cool. And typically I will get up around 7-ish, something like that, or close to 7. That's when the sun's coming up. Oh, look at you. That was the most bizarre stance. Like, what the heck is she doing? 7 o'clock, yeah, there. So you can tell it's close to morning, and so it's light outside. And also at 8 o'clock in the morning, you get your merchants are awake, and so it's usually when I get up. And because I did not believe that I had missed anything, it's like, okay, one more time. What if we ask him one more time? That steward keeps standing up and sitting down, standing up and sitting down. Dude, what are you doing?
I'm not much of a striker.
And still no option to purchase the house. So I'm taking a quick look at, just in case, first off, I'm looking to make sure that that quest, the ice on the, fire on ice on the whatever, is gone. It's blood on the ice is gone. So it is gone, and so what I'm going to do is set our markers so that we can head off to the far north end. I wanted to leave you with a beautiful screenshot of Serana and her lovely green eyes. If you haven't already done so, please subscribe to my channel, and also I do have a Patreon account. Thank you so much for following me along, and as always, I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day.